There is this movie called Fight Club. I don't know if you have seen this. So in that movie, the main lead says this one thing like which is gonna hit a lot of people. The dialogue from that movie is that advertising has us chasing cars, houses, and all these luxury things. A generation full of people waiting tables, filling up gas. We were all taught that we're gonna become millionaires, rock stars, and movie stars in the future, and then we're slowly learning the fact that it's not gonna happen, and we're all depressed. A lot of the people in this generation are completely depressed.
This is again a cultural shift and change that is happening. Maybe when my dad was there, it took him to be 50, earn a lot of money, and then even at 45, 50, then they used to think of building a home.
Okay.
Which now a 30-year-old guy, in my probably tenure, I've seen people working with me, 30 years you should have an own home.
Yeah.
So the credit culture has come in. So taken a lot of money and then somehow EMI culture, if you can call it.
Yes.
So that's come in, which
So
was
that's what
not
people
there
are
for my
locked.
previous generation, which is they were very afraid of loans and other stuff. So which is
Now
now
people are locked to their jobs. They can't even quit.
So when you're trying to do a startup and other stuff, it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice of time, time, both personal, family time, your own health, because you're taking a lot of stress, and it's a big risk that you're taking on yourself.
Yeah.
And until you're very sure of, and you believe in that and very passionate about it, and you think you cannot, if you can wait for that to really make it happen, because it's a long-driven process. Nothing can happen overnight. So if you can be patient, passionate, persistent, only then a startup success will happen.
Yeah.
And you have to be also scientific in your approach. I would call this, because
Not emotional.
Yeah,
In that way?
emotion in itself. This is including the idea and the startup. You should never be emotionally attached to your idea. If it's not working and you think it will not, there are a lot of people, even regular business that you would see, realtors, people in supermarkets and other stuff, they get emotionally attached with the idea or the business, continue to drain out money on themselves, get into deeper debts. Eventually it becomes a bottomless pit. Whatever you're putting in, there's nothing coming out. So you shouldn't be emotionally attached to an idea or a business. You should know how quickly to quit if something is not working, and move on. Thankfully, this is not marriage. Even today, the culture is that you can quickly move out of a marriage. But don't be married to your idea or your business. You should learn how to quit. A good example I can give, if you ask me why you quit out of the company that you're currently in, which is Penafotech, and made my money. If you're talking, you had heard of something called medical transcription as an industry.
Yeah.
Medical transcription is when doctors in the US, they used to dictate stuff. And it used to come, those voice notes used to come into India, and people used to convert it into text. Then came your technology of voice to text.
Text. Yes.
And the need for all this industry is gone. But what we were into was something called medical coding.
Okay.
Which is basically you have charts from hospitals. We used to do it only for the hospitals. And these are medical records. And based on looking at the records and multiple things, you pick up those key indicators and give codes based on which reimbursement for your insurance claims happen. Okay. But that is slowly being taken over by AI. So
have you heard about this thing, ChatGPT?
Of course. Who never did? Who didn't? This now right? You feel the pain because people say ChatGPT and suddenly, but I've seen industries just vanish because of technological advancements. Yeah. So no more that's going to be there. And for example, today, if you're talking about security guards, if you're talking monitoring and all that stuff, there's a company in Vizag called VGS, who's basically their job, they're sitting here and monitoring this security surveillance cameras for corporate sites, homes, hotels and all that, and during non-peak hours. And any, again, there is image analytics, any movement, anything that can be, if it's probably a cat running around, it will identify it's a cat and it will not. But if there's an alert system, it will alert, and from here they alert the 911 system, which is the police, and then immediately it's so technology will slowly take
even
over
after
stuff.
like maybe even after like 2-3 years, the guy who's watching the monitor is going to get fired because it's going to be taken care of AI.
Eventually it will learn on its own, and then and it will start doing stuff, and it will automatically place a call to the 911 system, and then you look at it and video, and then probably take a call. So automation will have its own impact. So if you are going to stick back to your traditional way of doing things, things will change. So you will have to move along with the change. Otherwise, if you stick back to your traditional systems, you might not continue to have a place for yourself with respect to making money or having a good life. It's like now the people are questioning, right? Why should even the education system, why should I by heart and write when there is everything on the Google? So why should I by heart go history, sociology, anthropology, or even most of the economics and all that stuff? I should have an application knowledge. I should have the concept. I should know how to apply it, but need not by heart and repeat it. So it's more application oriented. That's becoming it. So the world is changing. So you have to change.
Like there was this meme. Okay, like growing up, we were taught, you're not going to carry a calculator everywhere, so you have to learn math. Okay, and there is this other photo where they say like you have a calculator, you have a map, you have everything on your phone.
But if you are again trying to relate it with being successful in life, I don't think that people who are great at mental math will be great at business. There's no relation that way.
No relation at all.
If you are talking about that system, the ones who run the big companies should be all PhDs in math and all that stuff, who can do great, solve great problems. So everybody will have a space, will have a role to do. But if you're trying to run a business, like again in a startup, I think if you relate it back to a startup, it's not just the idea, it's also thing that we also look at is what sort of a team that you have. Like when you're running a podcast, you have your team, right?
Yes.
So everybody has their own skill set, and they have some expertise that they bring to the team table to make it a complete thing. So if I'm great in tech, do I have somebody who knows finance, somebody who knows operations and delivery, somebody who can do the networking and marketing and all this stuff. So you should have that complete this thing. That's what, even when people investors are not stupid.
Yes.
That gone are those F days where early investors are still called fools because they're taking a big bet on you. But then when you're talking about 4 different founders who are there, or 3 or 4, and then maybe you have an advisor for certain things that you don't have, make it a complete team. Then largely people put money not mostly in the idea. It's in the team, because it's finally the execution that matters.
Yes.
It's not just an idea. It's like, how many people have you not heard? Oh, this idea, naku eppudu vachindi. I thought I will go ahead and do it. But, oh man, I should have done it.
Yeah.
Going there and doing it, who's the guy who takes the risk? Okka magadu or okka, what you say, sherni. I shouldn't be gender biased. So, is what you need to go ahead and take that courage to have this thing, to go hit it and then make it happen.